Hey everyone, I'm here today to do a book tag. It's by Maven Books. I'll put the link to his channel below, but I'm going to be posting it as a video response. It'll be probably more easily to just look and find the original video under there, but whatever. It is called the Inside and Out tab. I am just going to get started. How this tag works is it's just an acronym. The questions are based on the letters in words inside and out. The first letter is I, which stands for inside. The inside or back flap of the book summaries, do they give away too much info or not enough? Well, in my experience, I usually feel like they do give away a little bit too much. There's been really rare occasions where I really felt like I had no idea where or what a book was about after reading a summary. I don't have any specific examples that come to mind right now, but for the most part, they do. I feel like they give away too much. What really annoys me is there's some, especially I've noticed with some mass market paperback versions of Agatha Christie books, where they give away information that is just outright wrong. So I'll be waiting for something to happen that I read about on the blurb that turns out to be something else because whoever wrote the summary just didn't really pay close attention when reading the book, or they didn't read the book at all. So yeah, and for the most part, if it's either or, it's going to be definitely too much. Next letter is N. New book. What form do you want it in? Be honest. Audiobook, ebook, paperback, or hardcover? The only books that I have in audiobook are the Harry Potter series, so definitely not that. And generally, if I kind of prefer hardcover to have, yet I prefer paperbacks to hold when reading. It doesn't make any sense. I guess if I had to say one, I'd say hardcover because they're a little bit more durable, even though I like to hold paperbacks. Even though I have an e-reader, I don't like ebooks as much as real books, which I'm disappointed to say. Most people I know I've heard of who got an e-reader, even though they were skeptical about it in the beginning, loved it and loved ebooks and the whole experience. I think it's alright, but nothing will ever top physical books for me, so I'm slightly disappointed in the whole e-reading experience. It doesn't have the magic of holding the book in my hand. So hardcover with paperback for a close second is my ultimate answer. Next letter is S. Stands for scribble while you read. Do you like to write in your books, taking notes, making comments, or do you keep your books clean, and tell why? I do not write in my books at all, not even in textbooks. Even like if I have a used textbook that the previous owner has even made a highlight mark or any sort of little note in, it drives me insane. I cannot write in my books. I very rarely take notes when reading for pleasure at all, but if there is something I want to remember, I will jot down like a separate piece of paper or on the computer. Never do I write in the books. That is just blasphemy to me. I cannot do it. It's defacing the book. It's a crime. Next letter is I. In your best voice, read for us your favorite first sentence from a book. Well, I don't have any of my favorite books with my favorite first sentences in them here, so I'm just going to go with one from the top of my head, which is the first line to Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It's a pretty well-known opening sentence, so that's why I just happen to know it, even though I wouldn't necessarily say it's my favorite one that I can think of off the top of my head, because it definitely wouldn't be from any of the books that I have here. And this sentence is, "It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife." I could attempt to do that in a British accent, but I don't know how that would sound, so I'm just going to go on to the next one. Next letter is D. Does it matter to you whether the author is male or female when you're deciding on a book? What if you're unsure of the author's gender? No, It really doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes I might have a thought in my head like, oh, a guy wrote this book about a teenage girl, or opposite kind of thought. But ultimately, I really don't care. The author's gender will not sway me really either way in deciding on a book. If I think it sounds good, I don't care who wrote it. Unless it's, well, in terms of gender, if it's an author I hate, then I'll probably be wary. But the gender really doesn't come into play for me. Next letter is E. Ever read ahead? Or have you ever read the last page before you got there? Do confess thy sins, foul demon. Sometimes I will sneak peeks ahead, but I can't read the last page. Probably when I was younger, I'm sure I did this a few times, but now, unless it's a book where I don't care really about what happens that much, like there's no real suspense or anything like that, like, I don't know, I can't even think of anything, and I generally don't read ahead. I'm sure on occasions I'll peek, but pretty boring answer for me, I guess. And we are moving on to out now, so the next letter is O. Organized bookshelves or outrageous bookshelves. I generally prefer to have my bookshelves organized. Unfortunately, because of my limited space, they're not organized in the exact way that I would want them to be, but they are still organized. I cannot have them outrageous. The next letter is U for under oath. Have you ever bought a book based on the cover alone? No, I have not. Definitely different covers will cause me, like, maybe a book to catch my eye if it is a really cool cover, or I might originally overlook books that have a really blah cover, but I never judge a book based on the cover alone. I will find out what the book is about first and at least read the back summary, kind of maybe read the first page or so. If I'm really hesitant or I'm desirous of more information, I'll read reviews or look it up online, never based only on the cover. The last letter is T. Take it outside to read or stay in. I generally stay in. When the weather is nice, occasionally I will go outside, but usually there's more distractions outside that make it more difficult to read, with, like, you know, bugs buzzing around, birds chirping, the wind blowing the pages away, and still, I do on occasion like to read outside, or sometimes I will take a walk while reading a book, which can be somewhat dangerous for me, especially given how clumsy I am when I am looking at where I'm going, let alone reading a book. But for the most part, it is always inside. That concludes the inside and out book tag. I tag anyone who wants to do the school tag. Make sure you check out Jeremy's video at Math and Books in the link or whatever I put down there. And I hope you do this tag because it was really fun to do. I'll see you guys in my next video.